Hello.
Hey.
We're here.
We're
Hello.
live. I'm gonna share it on my page.
You tell people coming in, or
Yeah, I see. Well, I did. Now I don't, but I did see. I did see one reaction.
okay.
So we'll have more coming in. I know they can catch the replay.
I want to make sure we give the people time to come in.
Yeah.
Before.
I'm gonna go ahead and share it.
Yeah, maybe I should go ahead and share it too. I'm gonna go ahead and share it while we're here. Yeah. Yeah. If you're here, if you're present, just comment, say hi, hello, something.
Hey. Let's see.
So great to be here. So
It is. It is. I've been excited all day about this. Even though I've like been super busy, I'm like, I just want to come on here and like really share this vision and get everyone excited. And, you know, I'm excited.
Yeah. How do we see who's watching? I don't know how to tell who's watching. Can folks comment and tell me that they're watching? Say, hey, we're here.
Say hi. I know on my side, on the left side for me, I can see it says if there are viewers, reactions, and comments, but there's none right now. But I know they're going to be coming. And again, if you're watching the replay, add your comments now or throughout this conversation.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and start introducing myself. I'm Michael Weston. I'm the brand manager for Indiana Fashion Week. I'm actually coming to you live from New York. I'm in the Renat Rodatch studios. I'm a native of Indianapolis, Indiana. Moved to New York in 2017, and I've been here ever since, working in the fashion industry here. It's been pretty exciting to be here, and I'm so glad that I am able to share my talents and my resources with Indiana. Yeah. We have one viewer, so we're good, and we have a party going on. Now there's two, there's three. Okay. There go all my friends.
Again on another page.
Again, I am Mich Weston, the brand manager for Indiana Fashion Week. I'll give you just a few more minutes for everybody to get settled, everybody to get in, and then we'll begin. Just a little bit of housekeeping while we're waiting. First of all, if you have not already, be sure to like the Indiana Fashion Week page on Facebook. You can find us simply by Indiana Fashion Week because it's a page posting this. Also find us on Instagram. And while you're here, actually, let me say this. Make sure you share this video for those who had questions about Indiana Fashion Week, why we're doing a Fashion Week, what it's all about, who's putting it on, all those questions, how do I get involved? All those type of questions we'll answer tonight, we'll address tonight. So please be sure to share this video on your timeline. As you do that, we'll be able to answer questions and let people, and make sure that as you have questions that you add them to the comments, and we'll do our very best. I think, Dlang, you're better than I am about that, about the whole questions thing. So I'm going to kind of lean on you.
Okay.
You know how I am. I lean on people's strengths. So you're strong at that. So I'm going to depend on you to kind of lead that part of it. But I am excited.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. I'm really, really excited to be able to interview and talk to one of, I would say, one of my favorite people. I had a conversation about Dlang via email with one of the people, a part of the media in Indiana. And I sent an email out talking about Indiana Fashion Week, talking about Dlang. And as I was talking about her, it was so interesting. The person said, I actually know who she is, and she's great. And I said, I haven't met her. She's an amazing individual. And they said how they profiled her some years, or like 10 plus years ago. And for anybody who does not know, Dlang has been in this game as it pertains to fashion, specifically in Indiana, for the last 21 years. That is commendable. And everybody who I'm sorry, there's a glare on my glasses, and I just don't like it. Plus, I think I look cute with my glasses off. No, but
no,
you're fine. You're fine. It's just me. You know, I don't need anything else to make my face look interesting. Anyway, but anybody who I've talked to about Dlang and who knows her has had nothing but positive things to say. Which is, you know, some people say, well, be careful of that. No, when you know somebody, and you know, there's a friend of mine who I say, if people don't like him, there's something wrong with them. And I feel the same way about Dlang Ferguson, that if people don't like her, there's something wrong with them, because she's one of the most genuine, hardworking, focused, dedicated, and community-based and focused people that I know. And so I'm really excited about that. Let me go ahead and address why we're here, what we're talking about. As you'll see on the screen, and as you've seen the promotions leading up, this conversation is called Not Another Fashion Week. And the reason why we both decided to call it that is because we've gotten, you know, some mixed comments about Indiana Fashion Week coming. And so there have been a lot of things like, oh, another Fashion Week, you know, isn't Fashion Week dying? Even from people who we trust, who believe in us, even believe in who we are, what we're doing. But they're like, Fashion Week, are you sure that's the route? Are you sure? Why are you doing that? You know, how is it relevant now? You know, Fashion Week in New York is dying, and, you know, all of that. So what I'm really excited about is sharing with you all and allowing really Dlang to share with you all where she sits, what her vision is, what her intent is. And I just want to lead with this, that Indiana Fashion Week is not about Fashion Week. It's really about a broader vision that has to do with community, that has to do with economics, that has to do with sustainability, that has to do with community. And so I'll let Dlang kind of get into that, but I'm just going to tell you all my involvement. I met Dlang. I didn't meet her from me living in Indiana. I've been gone from Indiana for 3-4 years now. But I met her actually when she came to New York. Another client of mine who we'll talk about later, who we'll talk about before this broadcast is over, was having an event, and she flew from Indianapolis there just to be a part of that. That speaks volumes, number one, to say how much she supports people, so much so that she'll get on the plane. She came in with her suitcase. She came in with this big old suitcase. And I said, you go, girl. But she came in with this suitcase, and she really was just there to support. And I think that's major. And so we decided to go ahead and set up a meeting with her. Come to find out, we're talking. She realized I'm from Indiana. Like, what? She's like, I need a brand manager for the stuff that I'm doing. I'm like, that's what I do. You know, my client was like, that's what he does. And I was like, oh yeah, that's what I do. And we ended up meeting the very next day about it. And it's been synergy ever since. It's been amazing. And so, first of all, Dlang, I just want to commend you on the work that you're doing, on your dedication to Indiana specifically, and your dedication to fashion and to community. Thank you so much. If you would, why don't you go ahead and let's start right now talking about what your vision is. Let's not talk about Indiana Fashion Week yet, because Indiana Fashion Week is presented by the Indiana Fashion Foundation. Why don't you first talk about the Indiana Fashion Foundation, what it is and why it is?
Okay. So first, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you just said to me. It truly touches my heart, and I don't take it lightly. Like, I believe in keeping a good reputation and treating people well. And, I mean, I just, and I've been through a lot on the 21-year journey of pursuing this. So I just appreciate that with all my heart. And so the overall vision is, why can't Indiana be this fashion central, like that creates this whole economic opportunities for advancements in so many different areas, but focus on fashion? Why can't we have that here too? That way, other surrounding states and anybody who wants to come here, Paris, wherever you are, you can come here and enjoy fashion. You can enjoy that experience because we have the talent here.
Yes.
Like, we have the resources here. So why can't we? And so literally, since I was a child, my mom had me modeling in shows, and then I went on and started sewing and producing events when I was a teenager. And my whole vision was, why? And I can be part of that group who helps bring these opportunities here, who helps bring, creates jobs and creates where somebody who's a creative like myself can live in their genius as a creative and make a living out of it.
Yeah.
So and also build a legacy. So it's not just about the show. It's not just about, just one individual. It's about this whole ecosystem of talent and opportunities that we can continue to grow and build a legacy. Like people like me, like I want to live in Indiana. People, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, you want to live in Indiana? You like Indiana?
Yeah.
People literally say that to me, like, I'm moving, I'm getting out of here. And I'm like, no, I actually do. Because one of my top values is my family.
Yeah.
I want to be here with my family. And so why can't we create it here? I don't have to move, So I believe that.
You said a lot that actually, you know how I get
notes so I can
I get powered up. So let me go slow. Let me kind of ease my way into it. Thing number one that you mentioned is the fact that the talent is there. Interestingly, I got an email. I was talking to someone via email about Indiana Fashion Week, and it is a company. Well, I'll have to tell you because I can't really say it without. So I was talking to one of the directors at Getty Images.
Okay.
And because I was trying to tell you that, but anyway, I talked to one of the.
I'm like, when we get off of this, I want to hear.
So I was talking to one of the directors at Getty Images, and they were saying that, I'm just going to be straight up with you. There is we don't have very many resources as pertains to fashion in Indiana. And I said, I'm not going to go on a soapbox. I said, but that's part of the problem, is that the narrative in Indiana has really been centered around sports more than anything. Exactly. I mean, you have the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yeah. So you have the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Pacers, the Colts. I mean, even the NCAA, NCAA Hall of Fame Museum is downtown Indianapolis. So Indiana has just been inundated with the sports narrative. But there are creatives there. I know some firsthand. I know many firsthand who are designers, not even just in fashion, but I'm just saying specifically in fashion, designers, people who are stylists. My best friend is in Indiana, and she's a stylist. And so there's this talent there, but the narrative has been, so skewed to think there's only sports, there's only cornfields even, and tornadoes, right?
Corn.
So that's thing number one that you said that kind of set me off. Number two is you mentioned the fact of creating economic growth. Interestingly, retail specifically only attributed. I don't want to quote myself on this, but attribute a very, very small amount to the Indiana economy in 2017. Right, very, very small. It's on our pitch deck. I have to go back and look at it. But beyond that, think about inside retail, fashion and apparel fits in that. Mm-hmm. So just think about how little of an impact. There's no reason why that should happen. The issue is the narrative, I think. So why don't you just for a minute, and I'll get on legacy in just a minute, but why don't you touch on that narrative that Indiana doesn't have anything, or why don't you talk about that and why you're combating that, why you feel the need to combat that?
So there's a couple of things. So it's one interesting when I travel, because people are like, when I talk to people, they're like, you're from Indiana? Where is that at? Or they'll be like, is that about Chicago? So it's like just bringing that awareness to the world about Indiana. So that's one thing around the narrative. The other thing is, like, there's a lot of groups, there's a lot of great people in Indiana doing things, but there's just not like a centralized way for us to like link and bridge resources outside of the city. So that's another way. And then also it's just looking at like, how can this talent, so whether you're a creative, whether you are some type of like graphic designer, whether you do photography, whether you are a business manager who wants to get into the creative field, like how can we establish more of an industry here where you can thrive, and not, especially if you want to live here, and if you don't want to live here, that's fine, but you may want to come back and bring resources. But how can we how can we set up these opportunities for us to grow? And to me, this is the perfect place to do it. Because like a lot of other markets are saturated, So like, why not? So I'm even telling the bigger brands, you should come here, like production. Like there's a lot of buildings that are not, housed with anybody or any companies here, that you can do that and do production, So there's I get so passionate. I know you do
that though, but But no, that passion is what is necessary. And I'm going to ask you. I'm going to kind of throw you for a loop, and I'm good for this.
I know. I'm just like.
So let me ask this: why start your own thing? And I'm saying your own thing because I'm being a little facetious there. But why start your own thing and not join in with what somebody else is doing in Indiana? Why not?
Okay, so there's a couple things. So I'm all over Indiana. Okay. So I'm all about like bridging collaborations and working with other individuals. So I've been doing that often. Like, but it's also about me saying, okay, this is the vision that I have that I also know matches with what I'm hearing from others in the city, and not just one or two people, but many people and organizations. And it's like I have that vision, so I got to move. And anybody who wants to be on the team and wants to collaborate with us, it's all open. It's open as long as you share that vision and you want to make it successful too. But it was me just saying, I'm already connected with groups in the city. I always try to go out and support and be there for them, volunteer, do everything I can. But then it's also about me bringing out the vision that I have too, and matching it with exactly what I'm hearing in the city and driving it. So it's two parts to it.
So let me ask this. Do you think that will, I'm being devil's advocate. Do you think that will cause division? I don't know. I can't say that there is division, but do you think that will cause division in you doing that?
I mean, it could. I really hope not. That's why when you opened up and you talked about like just what you like experienced from me, I hope that anybody else who's experienced that with me knows my heart and knows that it's a genuine thing for us to all work together. Because I don't believe in lack. Like I believe that there's opportunity for everyone, and like me.
Hold on. You don't believe in lack?
No.
Talk about that, because that's important, because that's a mentality thing. And one of the things that I talk to you about all the time, I challenge you, I push you on stuff. I'm like, no, I'm like, that's Indiana. That's Indiana. That's not, and I'm not yet, of course, no slights Indiana.
And I get so offended. I'm like, what do you mean this Indiana? No, I'm like, you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So talk about that. I don't believe in lack thing. Talk about that.
So I really believe what's for me is for me, even in the middle of, me like hearing no's or no responses, or, the things that come up. I see other people's, opportunities and stuff moving for them. I don't get distracted. Yes. Like when people can say, how could you not get distracted? I don't, because I truly believe it is for me. I also believe that the vision that I'm building, again, is not just for me, it's for so many people. Like this Indiana Fashion Week is going to impact millions. Like I'm convinced on that. And people all over the world, right? It's also going to show people that you can live in a smaller city and create this whole big ecosystem. Like you can create this wherever you live at, right? So it's not just going to be, again, for Indiana, it's going to be for some rural country rural town in Virginia, some, area in Kentucky that really shows them that you can create this. So I don't believe that, and plus, I'm at a point where I'm not trying to do everything, So it's like I'm gonna stay in my lane, and then you are a genius. What can you do? You be in your lane, and then we all come together.
Right. So essentially, what you're saying is about what you're doing and why you're doing Indiana Fashion Week, Indiana Fashion Foundation, why you're building this platform is actually you're not doing this so that you can do. You're actually building a platform, building a stage for others to do.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Right.
Hands down. Yes. Because I used to produce shows in Kentucky. I've done some in Ohio, just smaller cities, and just seeing, wow, like people have all this talent. People are, amazing at what they do. And that has been a driving force for me, even to the point where I don't even get my own sewing done because I'm caught up in the whole, like I will organize it. I will produce it. Like that's my genius. And I love designing too, but that's like, it'll come, it'll come. But it's not just for Indiana. It's not just for me. It's literally to build a legacy. Like this will be, and it's challenging. I gotta explain to people about Indiana, and they say there's not talent here,
Let me tell you, again, I'm day in, day out. I'm constantly having to tell people about it. And people, Indiana, what? Right? But
Yeah.
but then I tell them, but I'm from Indiana, and you know who I am.
Yeah. Oh.
Right.
I start saying, Bill Blast. Have you heard of Bill Blast? Have you heard of Morel? Like I started throwing.
Right. So we have to go there because you mentioned legacy. And so I don't know if everybody is aware of the deep legacy and fashion that Indiana has. I mean, you're talking about Norman Norell. Norman Norell was a couture designer. When I say couture designer, I'm not talking about somebody who deemed himself. I'm talking about over in Paris, the couture, like he was a Paris, like the Parisian Council. He was a couture designer from Indiana, from Noblesville.
Noblesville.
Right? Norman Norell. Bill Blast, Halston, those names that you've heard in fashion, Indiana. They've called Indiana home. And so we have a legacy in Indiana. So one of the things that we have to do is to honor that legacy by building upon them, by building upon their legacy, by building upon what they've established, what they've done. And that's how you honor people, and that's how you honor people's legacy, by continuing the work that they did. Even if eventually they ended up in New York or however, again, for me, I understand that it is my responsibility as a native of Indiana and as somebody who believes in Indiana to bring back what I have and who I am to Indiana to serve those people, because those people
value that about you. Yes, sorry to interrupt you. I'm like, I value that about you, because it's like people will leave and not come back or not share resources. But I find that when I connect with the right people, then when it goes into not having to worry about lack, because they're gonna be drawn and they're gonna give and they're gonna see the vision and pour in the vision. So I'm blessed, like for real. People can really get the vision. Again, I get people who don't get it. Like every single day, like you said, I'm trying to convince somebody. But then I also get an email where I don't have to convince them of anything. They're like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna say two things and then we're gonna move on. I'm gonna say two things. Number one of the principles that you and I hold on to and that we're trying to share with the team in terms of people getting involved, people not getting involved, all that stuff, is that we don't worry about the who, because who shows up.
Who shows up?
And I just want to say that just to anybody who's building anything, even if it's not in fashion, whatever you're building, a lot of times we get hung up on who's going to be involved, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. But if you start moving, people want to be a part of a movement. That's what Elliot Carlisle always says. He always says that people want to be a part of moving, but people can't get with you until you start moving. And so when you start moving, who shows up? And thing number two, I want to say, actually, there's another quote from Elliot Carlisle. He's got a bunch to say apparently tonight. The other thing that he says is that if what you're building is only about you, it will never exist beyond or outside of you. And so the reason why even Indiana Fashion Week has wheels is because what you're building is actually, you're not building it for or about you. You're really just being a vehicle for others to be seen, for others to be pushed forward. And in that, that's honorable.
Yeah, I want to be transparent though. Like there's times like when we did the brand story session, like a month or two ago, I mean, I actually had to question myself, like, why are you doing this? And I know my why, but there's times where it just gets really tough. And it's like, is this really what I'm supposed to do? And the answer is always yes. Like I can't sleep without getting up and doing this. Like I'm eating and I'm like, you know what I mean? Anything that I do, so I can't ignore it. And I love it. It lights me up. And then just to see the other creators, artists, designers, like again, it's not just fashion designers, it's the whole fashion industry. And if you say I'm not in fashion, but I do graphic design, I do photography, and I want to be in it, then you too. It's about creating these movements for you to see your dream be a reality too. And if I like, my life literally is dedicated to bringing other people's dreams to life. So I can keep going on. I'll stop.
We've got to move on. Just before we move on to the next part, I just want to remind those who are viewing, those who are watching, number one, please share this on your timelines. We want everybody to hear this, and we want everybody to know exactly what Indiana Fashion Week is, what it's about, and why we're doing it. Number two, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, anything, please include them down in the, well, I'm saying down because of my phone is down, but it may be over for you, whatever. But include it on in the comment section so that we can address them and talk about them and engage with you in this conversation. This is not just a 2-person conversation. We're all in this conversation. We just so happen to be the ones on the camera.
Ask a question, and we want to thank Misty. I see Misty's on right now. Thank you for joining, and definitely let us know if you have any questions. That would be great.
So the next thing I want to talk about is, now that we understand for the most part, and if anybody else has any other questions about the why of Indiana Fashion Week, please put them in the comments again. But now that I'm pretty clear, I'm going to say, just from what you shared tonight, pretty clear on why Indiana Fashion Week, what your focus is, and that it's bigger than Indiana Fashion Week, and it's bigger than you and bigger than that. Let me ask you, why not use a different platform other than Fashion Week? Why not, do something else? Maybe do a party and you get all the fashion professionals together. Why not do something like that? Or why not find some other quote unquote creative way to pull the people together? Why a Fashion Week? Why this month?
I asked myself that too. No, but I'm being funny, but I want to be very transparent. I ask myself these questions so I can check in with myself on, the vision and the mission and everything like that. But, why not do a fashion week?
Okay.
Right? Uh-huh. We don't have a fashion week. There is other fashion weeks and things that are going on in the city, but the way Indiana Fashion Week is set up, it's like, why not? And I'm all about tackling something that's big, like dream big, and bring it in the city. And so I've done workshops. I've done like individual like meetups and things like that, which were impactful too. Mm-hmm. But people love a fashion week. Plus, a fashion week brings all the talent together in one room. Like it can really shine a light on it. Yeah. So when we got to like the media and participants and everything like that, everything is in one place. Like if I do a workshop, it's just, the guest speaker and people come out and network. But the fashion week, you have hair, you have makeup, and I'm kind of going fast, but we're even going to add a part in there as far as like learning about the industry and things like that. So it's bringing the platform, all together in one night or 1 week, right? And bringing it to a global scale, in Indiana, of course, but globally.
Yeah, and perfect. Let me say this about Fashion Weeks. In terms of what Fashion Week is now, since from the days of Market Week to now, like from the back in the day when it's called Market Week and they were doing Press Week, and I'm not Market Week, Press Week and all that stuff. From that to now, it's different. Trends are no longer a thing, really. Means there are some trends, but just in general, that trend forecasting thing is not necessarily a thing anymore. The trickle down, like we set the trends and they would trickle down, no longer, because everybody's just doing what they want to do at this point, right? So Fashion Week isn't what it used to be. Even just the national, I'm saying the New York Fashion Week is not what it used to be, right? Because the dynamic has changed. But I've gone to New York Fashion Week shows and I've produced New York Fashion Week shows, and they were standing room only. So if it's not the same, and there was industry people there, it wasn't just like randoms. Industry people there. So if Fashion Week is not the same, what is it about a Fashion Week that draws people? People love exhibition. People just love it. They love the entertainment part of it, and so part of it is that it's entertaining. Fashion weeks are entertaining. Fashion shows are entertaining, but it also gives an opportunity, as you said, for the talent to exhibit their themselves, whether they be makeup artists, hairstylists, designers, stylists, even people who are working front of house, if they're PR, if they're production, it gives them an opportunity to be seen, to do what they do and to do what they love. So that's thing number one. That's one thing I'm hearing in what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you also touched on something else. And I think at this point you touched on the educational bit. So I think at this point it's a good spot for you to talk about actually the actual schedule, what's all involved in Indiana Fashion Week. Let's talk about that. And then I really want to go back to that. But of course I can get on soapbox because as y'all call me the fashion pastor. And so fashion pastor knows get on the soapbox and want to preach and want to have the organ behind it and all that stuff. So I'm not going to do that. But I do want you to talk about the schedule of Indiana Fashion Week, talk about each part of it, who's involved, all that stuff, so that people understand the scope of it. And of course, we'll post a schedule on the website soon, but continue.
Okay. So some of it is still a secret, some of it is still a secret, but overall, so it is June the 18th through the 22nd. And I am like so honored to be able to open it up with the Youth Design Challenge. We're partnering with Goodwill Industry. And so with that, just to share a little bit, I got to share a little bit with that. So a few
Don't
years
mess up
ago.
our marketing plan now. Do not.
Okay, you know what? I'll pull back. But just know that the 18th and 19th is we are doing a Goodwill a challenge with the youth. It's the youth design challenge with the Goodwill Industry, and that's the first 2 days. So that's the 18th and 19th. The 20th is a press preview day,
which is my birthday. So everybody bring a gift. Anyway, continue.
Yes, we have to do something. And then that is the press preview on the 20th. The 21st is an industry day conference. And we already released it, so I could talk about her coming.
Yeah, so let's just talk about this though. This series that we're doing on Facebook Live. Actually, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. But as you see, it's called Making It in Fashion, Making It in Fashion, IN Indiana. Oh, look at me, branding. Anyway, but no, Making It in Fashion. Seriously, Making It in Fashion. So we're calling this a conversation series. The Industry Day Conference will be called Making It in Fashion Industry Day Conference. So we're actually doing this, giving you some education, all this stuff off, before and after Fashion Week. We're trying to keep the education rolling, trying to keep the information rolling. So that's what it's called. Continue with what you're saying. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, so we're we'll talk about it later, but we'll have some more of these Making It in Fashion series coming up too. So I'm excited to be talking. We'll talk about that more. It's so many things going on with it. Okay, so I gotta stay, focused. Okay, so again, the 20th will be that Making It in Fashion
21st.
Industry Day Conference. 21st, yes, the 21st. That's that Friday, and then I'll post this again so that you can have it where you see the exact schedule. We'll post it, but then we end with our grand finale show that is the emerging designer competition, and I'm just excited about that. We've actually already opened up the submissions, so if you know any designers, fashion designers, definitely share this with them. We'll add the link to it where they can go directly to it, and basically they have until March 19th to sign up. Yes. And in that competition, I mean, they're going to be meeting with us prior. The ones that are selected, we're going to select 8, and the ones they'll get, training on, their companies, how they can build their brand, as well as prepare for the Fashion Week, and also prepare to meet industry leaders. And then, go ahead. Huh?
So industry leaders such as
Fern Malice.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is? If you do, in the comments, right, do you know who Fern Malice is? Do you know? Oh, somebody's laughing.
Misty said that was her question.
Yeah, so Fern Malice is the creator of New York Fashion Week. And so I'm excited because literally it was a good 10-ish years ago. I had this vision to bring her here to Indiana, and now it's coming to life. So I'm excited about that. She's going to be meeting with those designers. She's also going to do a meet and greet for some of the guests as well who attend Indiana Fashion Week. And it's just exciting to be able to be that bridge to bring resources here. Yes. So definitely write on your calendar, June 18th through the 22nd. And that way you can stay up to date on what all we have going on and just get involved with it.
So let me ask, because I think this is probably going to be a twofold answer. I just have a thought, but why was it important for you to bring, number one, an industry professional, but more specifically, why was it important for you to bring Fern Malice?
Okay, so to be able to grow this fashion industry, we need, I believe in connecting with individuals, like in all different skill sets, all different levels, and bringing them in as the expert to be able to help, because we can only do so much. And what better way to develop in the career you want to than actually the professionals in that career, in that industry. So it was important for us to, with Indiana Fashion Week, to bring people in that can actually help, that can actually develop you, that can actually give you some type of insight and also inspiration.
Yes.
To me, inspiration to see that they've, already met this level of their career, and now they're coming back, giving back to be able to, help guide you along your way. So that's important, one thing.
Yeah.
The other thing for me is when I was producing shows when I was 15 years old, I was looking for this mentor, because I felt like I was almost alone, which later on I realized I wasn't, but I was looking for somebody that I can find inspiration from. And I started learning about Fern, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta meet her. I have to meet her. So it's a story I'll tell you about what happened another time.
Okay.
But literally, it's like 10 years later, now she's coming. So like for the first Indiana Fashion Week, she is the one we want to bring here because she has been so instrumental in my development as an event producer. I really wanted her to be here. So I'm just excited that, she said, yes, she's coming. And it's not just for me. Like, these designers are going to win prizes. They also get an opportunity to be flown to New York.
Yes.
Like, so you get some opportunities, and I'm like, don't pass them by. Like, don't pass this by.
So let me say this before I move on, because you sparked another thought that I need to get on. Man, time goes by so fast. But I wanted to touch on, you mentioned the fact that with Fashion Week, Fern Mouse is coming and she's going to be involved and all that she's going to be. But I think it's also important to note that we are actually honoring Fern Malice while she's here with the first ever INDFW Legendary Trailblazers of Fashion Award. And this is a group of people who have created legendary marks in the fashion industry, the global fashion industry. And and I see your question, Misty, and actually that's where I'm going. So I'm glad you're saying this. Very, very good. But we're honoring her, and we feel like it's important, especially because we have such a rich heritage in fashion, that we honor people who are making an impact in fashion. So we're going to actually do that every year, but we're so glad because Fern has been such an inspiration, even in the structure and how we're doing Indiana Fashion Week, because it's important that we honor her. So I want to point that out. The next thing I want to go to is you talked about there being prizes for the designer competition. So I really want to get into the designer competition. First of all, I want to know, I want you to tell people exactly what the emerging designer competition is and why you're doing it. Secondly, how they can sign up and what the prizes are. How about that?
Okay. So I have like these, I'm one person, but I have like this creative side to me where I'm a designer too. And I realized the need for more resources, the need for, for some more connections and networking, the need for, basic knowledge in the industry. So it was a big motivator for me coming from being a designer and knowing how the struggle is, to create this emerging competition. And so I've hosted these in the past before. So, it's just exciting to see, the designers who win. It's exciting to see them, but we've actually, up-leveled all the prizes. But if you are interested in being a part of the designer competition, then you definitely can just go to indianafashionweek.com, and then we'll add a link here too where you can go directly to it. But literally right now it's the application process, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that you are, committed, that you're dedicated, that you can fill out some information about yourself. And then also we want to make sure that there's quality, because we're bringing industry professionals in the city. We want to make sure that the designers who are participating in it are ready, or at least, willing to put the work in to create a great, collection. And it's 5 pieces.
Yeah.
Like, I thought about doing like 20 or 15 for all the prizes they get. But anyway, but yeah, so, it's 5 pieces that you have to make. But before you even get to that, all you have to do is go to indianafashionweek.com. There's a banner that says Emerging Designer Competition. And then all you have to do is fill out the application. and then submit a portfolio. Now, the portfolio needs to be in a PDF format. And in that portfolio, it should be some of your best work. And I would at least do, I would like for you to do more of this, but at least 5 to 12 images in this PDF document. And then you would just upload that into the form and then push submit. And so basically we're going to accept these applications through the 19th. March 19th. Yeah, March 19th. We're going to accept applications, and then we're going to be choosing the designers. I have to look at the date, but it's just not far from that date. So within like 4 or 5 days, we're going to be releasing who our designers are. Mm-hmm. Once those designers are selected, then they actually are going to go through some intensives, because this is not just a competition where you come and you show and that's it. Like, this is a competition where we also want you to have some type of development within it. We want you to walk away with some valuable resources and insight that even if you don't win the competition, you still will have massive value from it. So we're going to be talking about branding, marketing. We're going to talk about the quality of your garments, what you're going to create, what your story is around what you're creating, how, you're going to price these garments, so that you know exactly what it would be like if you were in the design business. And even if you're like, I'm already in the design business, well, we're going to further develop you.
I want to say something on that you mentioned, that price point. One of the there's 2 questions that I hate when designers don't have the answer to. Number one, who's your target?
Yes.
Who's your ideal client? That's number one. I think that's like basic. If you're designing, you should be designing specifically for your market. You can't say, I have everybody. That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
You go to production and start talking about everybody. Like, see, I can say a lot of stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. And then number 2 is being able to answer the question, what is your price point? Mm-hmm. And like when you don't have those answers, those are like fundamental for your business. Now, that has nothing to do with your creative, and you can be as creative as you want to be and all that stuff. But also, the purpose of you doing this, if this is your career, is to make money. Is to make money with your business. Exactly. And so you need to know who you're designing for, because if you're not designing for them, if you're not designing for your audience, then they're not going to buy it, number one. And then number 2, if you don't know your price point, then you can't sell it, because so that's important and for designers who struggle with that, struggle with identifying who their target audience is, who their ideal client is, and also struggle with price point. This intensive, what you're saying is that this intensive will also cover that and help them to identify that and to kind of formulate that, so that when they are critiqued by somebody like Firm Knowledge, they're able to give those answers.
Exactly. So that's the point. So once those designers are selected, they'll go through these intensives, exactly what Michael was just saying. And then that way, like you said, it gets you ready for when you come to the show and you are doing pre-judging. You've already went through things, we already went through, helped you out, like on how to present yourself, how to answer the questions. So when Fern asks you a question, you can answer it, because you just never know where these opportunities may take you, So, yeah.
And so I'm just going to go ahead and address this question, because I see it now, because Misty asked also, she knows that there is a requirement for the portfolio. Is there anything else required with the submission?
No, not with the submission, just the application and then just the portfolio. That's it. And you do it all online. On Indiana Fashion Week. If there's something I'm missing, let me know. But no, those should be the only 2 things that they have to do.
Yep.
Yeah. Those
just make your proposal before the intensive.
Yeah, there's stuff after, but that's only once you get selected. And then again, if you submit and you're not selected, it's still imperative for you to be there, because there's going to be some other opportunities. I mean, you have the Industry Day conference.
Okay.
More training.
You're skipping ahead of me a little bit.
So.
So we're going to look, but I was going to say, so I'm a designer who applied, didn't get in, or somebody literally like myself, I'm not a designer. I work on the business side of fashion. I work in the branding, the business development side of fashion. Mm-hmm. So what is there for people like myself or other people who are creative, but not necessarily designers? What is there for them?
So there's actually a couple of things. So you may say, you know what, I want to be on the ground floor with them. Like, I want to actually be part of this legacy building, So that's one opportunity. We're going to be opening up some opportunities for volunteers to come in and be in different capacities within the event. The events We have several that week. So and then you also have training prior to that, so that if you actually want to produce your own things, in the future, then you'll start getting that, that experience, and you start learning about it. So that's one way if you want to actually be involved. Then also, if you're like, I just want to come, like, we're going to be selling tickets. We're going to have, opportunities for, you may have a resource that you want to refer us to. There's many ways you can get involved. And so what we want you to do is definitely go to IndianaFashionWeek.com, sign up for the mailing list. That way, as we start releasing these opportunities, it'll help spark your, your thoughts. And be like, oh, I didn't know that. And then you can maybe sign up. Or if you have an idea, just shoot us an email. Like I said, there's a place for you if you want it, if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to make this successful, if you're willing to, just dive in and grow this. There's a place for you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So also, I just wanted to point this out. I'm not going to give him my email address, but I'll give him the email address. If there are other questions, if following this, there are other questions that you have, I would encourage you to go to Indiana Fashion Week. On the front side, front page of the site, I purposely put it there. Front page of the site, there is a contact form. Fill that contact form out, and we will really get back with you. We've been inundated. I mean, we really have been inundated with interest, which is a good thing. And so if you have messaged us, know that we're getting to you. This week, between this week and next week, I'm planning on really addressing a lot of those. I have talked to some people already, but just as time goes along, I really am addressing those. So please don't be afraid to submit there and ask questions and tell us what you're interested in doing. And please, if you submit saying I want to be involved, it also include how what your work history is, in what way you can be involved, because it saved us another email saying, okay, I'm glad, so thank you so much for wanting to be involved, but how can you be involved?
I want to answer Misty's question too whenever you get done too, because Misty's asking about the portfolio. And so yes, you want to show a variety of different garments, but maybe one garment has interesting detail on the shoulder or in the back or something like that, and you want to show different views of it, but definitely show a variety of work that you've done. But again, some of the pictures may be the same garment in different views of that garment, but definitely show a variety. We want to make sure that you'll be able to put together a 5-piece collection.
Yeah. And I guess the more accurate word would be not necessarily 5-piece, 5-look.
5 look.
5 look. Yeah. I'm trying to look at you talking about pieces.
Yeah, I'm thinking about sewing. I'm like, okay, I got how many pieces? One.
There's another comment that I wanted to address. Melody said I think she's saying she's a professional model. I'm taking it. Melody, Can you confirm that for me, that you're a professional model? So if you would go ahead and talk about opportunities for models and how that process will go.
Oh, I'm so excited about the models. I love seeing the models. I mean, I'm excited about every part of it, but it's something about when the models come out and they got this fierce attitude, but pleasant and nice. Not me, you know what I mean? But because I've had some work with some divas, and that doesn't work well backstage. But anyway, that's a whole other topic we talk about. But when you come out, they have this opportunity to bring the clothes to life. And so we're going to be hosting a model casting call, a few of them actually, and we'll release that again. Like Mike said, sign up at IndianaFashionWeek.com so that you can be on the list to know when we're going to actually host that model casting. But we're going to be releasing that in March, when that date is going to be.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like all types of models. Like we want to see everyone on that runway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The thing that I love about fashion now is that it is inclusive more and more. We still have more work to do. We still have more work to do, for sure. But the awesome thing about Indiana Fashion Week, and this being the first Indiana Fashion Week, we have the pleasure, we have the responsibility even to set a precedent. And I love that, so that we can say fashion is not just about, somebody who's like me, who I eat so much and then I still can't gain no weight and I'm so depressed. But no, but it's not just for one type of person, is not that this is for anybody again. But I will say that presentation does matter. Fashion is a visual industry. It is a visual industry. So presentation doesn't matter. So when you show up to we'll get into that. Never mind. I'm not gonna do it because I start going into coaching mode.
Also just know, I mean, like you said, we'll get into that, but it's really about showing up and showing out, like showing up, giving it your all, being professional, showing your best work. It's about presenting yourself in the best way. Because again, like we talked about in the beginning, people are already saying, what, Indiana? Like Indiana? That's fashion. You know what I mean? So it also comes with a level of responsibility. So we're looking for people that's going to show up like professionals, and all they got. So we'll talk about that more.
Yeah. And one more thing I want to say with regards to this is that I think it's, we are fashion professionals. We are professionals. And so a part of being professional is also being open to being critiqued.
Oh, yeah.
And to be directed, all that stuff. I mean, I don't, you're the executive director and creator of Indiana Fashion Week, but there are times where I have to say things to you, hey, no, that didn't work. I'm
always critiqued.
Right. I am who I am, in Indiana Fashion Week. I'm the brand manager, but there are times where you have to say, Mike, no, that didn't work. I've been doing this for 21 years here, and that's not going to work. That ability to be critiqued, to be corrected, that is vital, because that is actually the most professional thing that you can do, is to position yourself to learn. Because the moment that you stop learning, you're actually no longer qualified to teach either.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that.
Like that. I mean, you have to think about the phenomenon in fashion called fast fashion. Fashion changes so quickly that you have stores like these fast fashion stores turning over their whole floor, every 3 weeks. That's why we used to wait 6 months for anything, but we're talking about every 3 weeks, just change. So with that being said, if we are going to be professionals in an industry, in a particular role, job, whatever, we have to constantly be on our toes. We have to constantly be willing to be taught, because as we're willing to be taught, we're actually qualifying ourselves to teach.
Exactly.
I just want to go there. Yeah.
I'm always being critiqued. Like, if I'm gonna put myself in this position, I gotta always continue to grow. And literally, like you said, like even you tell me like stay in your lane, or you say something crazy.
I mean, if I can just be transparent, the other day you were talking about something with the marketing. I said, let me handle the marketing.
No. And I just said, Roger that.
Yeah, you're like, Roger, right? Right.
Because again, like I trust you as the professional you are, you know what I mean? And so again, and also I'm not trying to wear 50 hats. I'm trying to wear my one hat, and every now and again my two with my designing, and that's it. I'd be in my lane, everybody else in there. So somebody may cross over,
Yeah. And again, Indiana Fashion Week, Indiana Fashion Foundation, first of all, that actually is presenting Indiana Fashion Week, is about community. That's what the purpose of it is about community, creating the fashion ecosystem. Misty said she came in a little late and she missed who I am. I'm just a nobody. No.
No.
But my name is Michael. My name is Michael Weston. I am the brand manager for Indiana Fashion Week. I have the pleasure. I'm actually here in New York now, but I am a native of Indianapolis, Indiana. I lived in Indiana until 2016. The beginning of 2016, I left. Lived in Charleston, South Carolina for a little while, and then came to New York. And I'm working here in the industry. I'm actually here at the studio of one of my clients, a phenomenal designer by the name of Renat Brodash.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She's really great. I mean, yeah, and I'm not saying that because I work with her, because if I didn't work with her, I'd say the same thing. But she's a phenomenal designer, so I have the opportunity of doing that. And I have also the opportunity, thank you, Misty, because you kind of set me up for our announcement about March. Please, I'm going to make some announcements or whatever, but while I'm making these announcements, while I'm going through this, please ask any questions and, give any comments or whatever down below, or where I keep saying down below because for me it's down below, but wherever the comment section is on your screen, send your questions, your thoughts, all that stuff. I also have the pleasure of working with an industry consultant, speaker, and coach, and most recently author by the name of Elliot Carlisle, the brand, the voice. Dlang, I'll let you kind of share your experience with Elliot and then share the news that that we have coming about March.
So Elliot, how do I describe him? He is just this amazing leader that has the power to just transform like whoever he talks to, if you want it. You know, he's one of those people to me. Like, yeah, I say if you want it. He's one of those people that just his influence over himself and his acknowledgement of the things that he wants to do, his truth, it just radiates. So when he speaks and when he teaches and leads and all that stuff, it just is one of the things I was like, we have to have him here. Like, if you notice, when I'm bringing people here, it's because they bring something of value. But I really believe that the market here in Indianapolis needs. And so, Elliot, I was in Phoenix, Arizona, right? I was on the plane. Before I got on the plane, like, let me check my Instagram. And I saw this picture of this guy. And I'm like, he was in front of the NDY sign. Have you seen that? The Love Indy sign.
So cool.
You'll see it like all different places around the city. But basically you stand on it and you're the eye, right? So they have it at the airport now. But anyway, I saw a picture of him and I was like, who is this guy? Because he's not from Indiana. Like, because the picture was of him in Indiana. So I immediately started following him. And then I was like, whatever he does, I'm going to go meet him. Because I believe in moving, like just moving. Like if something, because I know this is the space I want to be in. When I'm drawn to somebody or something, I believe in just going after it. So anyway, it's a lot of other stuff with that story. But Elliot is, again, he has this book called The Influence Workbook. And I purchased the book. And it really talks about just something I feel like, and I read and I hear and I see other creators struggling with. And that's how to even get past being unstuck, how to move forward in your ideas and your business, how to not let anything stop you, how to look inside and see the things that you need to move your ideas forward. And so I feel like he was a key component to open up before the show, before Indiana Fashion Week, to help some of these creators get unstuck, like to help you move forward with whatever ideas that you have in this industry. And even if you're not in the industry, regardless, it's a great opportunity for you to see him. And I can say so much more about him, but I'm excited because he's coming March the 22nd. And so we have the save the date, and we're going to be releasing that. We want you to save the date, so March 22nd. And then we'll be sending you some more information on how to just meet him. He travels all around, speaking, teaching, leading. And then, he's just amazing. Anything else you want to share about him?
No, I'll just say that he's been working in the fashion industry for well over 10 years now. And his work history spans from him being a production captain for Mercedes-Benz New York Fashion Week to him being the creative director for Gladys Knight. So his career has really been full. He's done fashion PR, he's done the creative direction, and now he's an industry consultant, speaker, and coach, and author. And so I just want to tell you all firsthand, I get the privilege of working with him on a consistent basis. And I just want to let you all know that he really adds value. He knows what he's talking about. He doesn't talk about what he doesn't know. And if he doesn't know, he'll say, I don't know. And so those are people, again, people who are able to learn. So I want you all who are available on the evening of March 22nd, to just mark your calendars to be present, and we'll give out more information. I'll put the save the date up in the next day or two. Make sure that you all have that information out there. But it's so important. He's going to be talking on the topic, gaining influence in the industry. And if I can just give a little back history of him, he is from a city that you've never heard of called Crestview, Florida. Crestview, Florida. It is right like 20 minutes away from Alabama. Never heard of it. It's in the Panhandle. But he went from Crestview, Florida, to now in the global fashion scene, working with Fern Malice. He's in that place. So when I say he's somebody who actually has the right to talk about this, I couldn't get up there and talk about that because I've not gained that. But because he is somebody who has that wherewithal to talk about that and has the experience and knows how to get from Crestview, Florida to the global fashion scene. He is somebody who we all need to hear from, and we all need to, be present to speak with. So please mark your calendars for March 22nd. March 22nd.
Yeah. And so you said a couple of key things. So like him being from, like you said, a town, like, from
Crestview, Florida.
Crestview, Florida. Even though I hear Florida, I still hear the Crestview. You know what I mean? That may not have a lot of opportunities in fashion or whatever. I don't know. But I mean, so just thinking about how you can come from anywhere and build your dream. Like you come from anywhere. So that was one thing. And then also just like one of our missions with it, one of our initiatives with the mission, I should say, is to bring these industry professionals here. Yeah. To create these opportunities here. So whenever we do host these things, definitely be involved, definitely participate in some type of way, because this is for you. Like if you want it, if you really want it, this is for you. Like, so I just want to stress that. Like you say you want these resources, these opportunities, and they're here. So, save the date, participate, let us know what you think.
Very good. Let me go back to my notes because this is who Dlang is. Before we got on early this morning, he sent me a list of stuff that I need. So let me make sure that I'm covering everything.
That's my other side. That's my research side. I have a creative side and I have like a research.
That's what we're gonna call it.
Like
we'll call it mama mode.
I know, right? Oh yeah, mama mode.
No, I'm gonna give just a few minutes if anybody else has any more questions, comments, thoughts, whatever. But I want to say thank you, Dlang, number one, for stepping up to the plate. Because, and let me say this too, is that I'm gonna prove to you all in just a few seconds that this is not about her.
What?
She started this initiative. She started this initiative to bring resources to Indiana, not going to people saying, hey, I need you to do this. Hey, people, I need you to do that. She's invested her own money in this, because she believes that Indiana has a place on the global fashion stage. And so with that being said, I'm telling you all the reason why I'm involved in this initiative. I've met people, who are doing this, that, and the other, but I just don't mesh with them because one thing, my brother has been saying something that I love is that, right now things are happening for people with good intentions. He's breathing, things are being breathed on that have pure motives, pure intentions. And the reason why I chose to get involved with Indiana Fashion Week, why I decided to connect with Dlang, I didn't know her from a bag of rice. But the moment that I met her, I realized, whoa, she's passionate not about herself, but she's passionate about those who are coming up, those who don't have resources. And she flew to New York herself so that she could get resources. And as a result, she met me, and I've been able to help some. I mean, at least I think help some. Yeah, yes, she is, Misty. She's an amazing person and an amazing artist. I so agree. And so I'm just telling you all, that this vision, this whole mission is really, 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 really about the community and about creating a platform in Indiana. That's really all it's about. It really is. And, I was going to ask you this question. And I think this would be a good closing question before we go offline. I just wanted to ask you the question, and I think I asked it to you when we were doing our brand storyboarding, but I'm going to ask you in front of everybody who's watching, why you? Why?
Oh, why not? Why not me? And I've had people say, are you being arbitrary? Like just thinking that you're going to just come in and just do this? But I can't ignore it. Like it's hard for me to explain. Like I know this is part of my like purpose in life. Like, your purpose changes, it evolves. But literally since I was 15 years old, my first show was because, other artists didn't have an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I took $500 of my own money, booked a place, and had a show. Not many people showed up. We had like 5 people in the audience, but we went out there and like it was completely crowded. We put on a show. I took pictures, and then they helped me for the next show, and they helped me for the next show. So it's like I can't ignore it.
Yeah.
I want to be able to help other creators. I know that's part of my mission, and it to me is a disservice that I don't fulfill it. Like there's somebody out there to me that's like waiting for these opportunities that I can bring forth life, and I believe that that's selfish of me too, not to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be scared, because it's scary. Like I literally can go to my email on any given day and like not get a response. Like, okay, this person haven't responded back, but I'm not worried about it. It's just they haven't responded, right? Or I can get a yes, and then 2 emails later get a no. So and then I'll get another yes. But to me, it's like I don't need every yes.
Yeah.
I don't need everybody in it.
The right yeses.
The right yeses. So 1, why not me? 2, I feel like I'm ordained and I this is what I'm supposed to do and I can't ignore it. And then 3, it is not, again, just about me. Like this is community driven.
Yeah.
So I would love to see this be able to be literally driven by the community. And people have called me literally crazy for taking my own money and investing in it. But the thing about it is it has to get going. Like it has to get started. And I know it's going to come back. It's going to come back. So it's like it is started. I also believe in skin in the game. So, when there's a charge for an event or whatever, it's all to create this energy, this economic development that we want to do. It's all part of the greater vision of it.
Yes.
And so if I'm telling you about skin in the game, I got to have skin in the game too with my time, my money, my resources. So I'm just excited to be able to do this. And I know I'm meant to.
So let that be a lesson to anyone who is watching, who, either watching live or watching the replay. Let that be a lesson to you that if you feel, I'm going to say, you know what? I got it. Because my favorite movie is Sister Act 2. Sorry, I say this way.
Oh, I like that movie.
If you wake up in the morning and all the thing you can think about is singing, then girl, you a singer. And so I'm just saying, if all that you can think about is your vision to, be a designer, to be an artist, to be a singer, to be a physician, to be a lawyer, whatever it is, if you wake up in the morning and I am supposed to do this, it's my purpose to do this, do it with everything in you, invest what you need to invest in it, and just go forward. Because once you answer the call inside of you, it will produce. Now, Dlang, you've been doing this for 21 years, and finally, after 21 years, it's starting to look like you saw it 21 years ago.
It's starting to look like it, right? And I had to keep that vision. I had to literally keep the vision because it gets hard. Like it's hard, especially when even though I see the opportunity here, because you still got to build that, that interest, on a bigger scale than just the community. You want to get going.
Until 4 o'clock this morning, emailing people about Indiana fashion. Trust me.
Exactly. So, 21 years ago, and now I'm seeing it. So I'm patient though. I'm all about, I'm in this for the long haul. I already told myself that when I was a kid. So it was like, I'm just going to keep moving forward, keep doing what I can, keep blessing others and like creating these opportunities. And then one day it's going to come back, and it's coming back now. So I can only imagine what next year is going to look like in the next year because of being consistent, committed, having that persistence and knowing you're going to hear some no's, you're going to hear yeses, you're going to hear, all these things, and to just not get discouraged by it, but say, I can't ignore it. So, it's going to work out, so.
Yeah. And I just, one more thing, 2 more things. Number 1, Melody, I will find you on social media. I'll find you and I'll talk to you. Because I appreciate you doing that, saying that she said that I have a lot of skills that may be able to help. Can I speak with you offline? And please, please, please speak with myself or speak with Dlang. Actually, I will speak with you. Anybody who doesn't know me, please find me and connect with me. Because I really, I am an Indianapolis native. And of course, I don't know everybody. But please, yes, Chloe, it will come back tenfold. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But
absolutely.
but yeah, please connect with me. And yeah, if you can't find me just by looking for me, go to the Indiana Fashion Week website, go to the team page, and all my social information is there. So please just connect with me, connect with Dlang. I want to give a shout out to our event director, Tamara Payton. I don't know if she's on right now, but Tamara, I want to give a shout out to you. And also, who we announced yesterday,
yes,
our lead makeup artist, Danielle. I don't know if she's here. Danielle, if you're here, just, say hello. If not, but Danielle, we thank you so much for being a part of the team. We're going to be announcing some more team members. We're going to be announcing more team members very, 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 very soon. And I'm really excited for you all. But this is like, we're building a team from Indiana. There will also be, we didn't mention this, but there will also be opportunities for people, hair and makeup, to get involved as well.
Yeah.
And be on the lookout for that information. And one more thing I was going to say. Also, I just want to shout out one of our partners who is a staple in Indianapolis as it pertains to fashion, and who has been just so. Hi, Danielle. There you are. Hello. Yeah, you're watching. I just wanted to give a shout out to Pattern, because Pattern, they've been really, really champions for what we're doing. Paulina, thank you so much. I appreciate when people, are doing work and understand that it's about community, and they put their money where their mouth is. I'll just put it that way. I appreciate that. So, Dlang, I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to have this conversation with you. Thank you so much for the vision. Thank you so much for your heart. Thank you so much for creating these opportunities, putting your money where your mouth is, and doing what it is that's necessary to bring opportunity, to bring awareness, to bring all this to Indiana. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And, anything else you want to say?
I just want to really encourage you. If you're interested, don't wait. Go ahead and reach out. If you want to be a designer, don't wait into the 19th. If you got to get to the 19th, that's fine. But don't wait. Go ahead and submit your applications. I believe in moving fast, but with intention, right? So I know the things that I want to do, so I can see them and zero in and know that's what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So if you have any insight that this is where you're supposed to be, to participate, to be involved, don't wait. Go ahead and get involved, because we're actually starting to meet. We meet almost every day, but we're more with the team. I don't want to overwhelm you. You won't have to meet with me every day, okay?
When you get messages at 4:00 in the morning, you know who it is.
I know, right? But we have things that's going, and this is your opportunity to get involved and to develop yourself. Again, this is community. This is for all of us to grow in the industry and to just make massive impact. So don't wait. Get involved. If you're a designer, sign up for the application, sign up, register for it, and then help us share it.
Yes, please.
So help us share it. Even if you're like, I'm not really into fashion, but I know my cousin, my sister, my hairstyle, whoever it is, I'm sure somebody. Share this with them, because
look who just commented, Das Miller.
Oh, hey, Das.
Should we go ahead and talk?
Yeah, you can.
And I'm so glad Das is on here, because Das is our lead photographer for Indiana Fashion Week. Yep. And so that'll be added to the site. We'll do an official post and all that about it. But we're so
that's amazing. Man, I've been wanting to work with him. So this is so great. My thing is that's why I say share the things you do. Don't wait to start talking about it. People well, wait. Yes, there's certain components of Indiana Fashion Week you don't know about yet. We're getting it together. But that doesn't stop us from releasing the vision, giving you the date, talking about it. So talk about the things you do, because you never know who else is watching for you to be able to get these other opportunities. And like I said, Doss has been somebody I've been wanting to work with. Danielle has been somebody I've been wanting to work with. She's always in the community helping other creators doing makeup.
That's so amazing.
Amazing portfolio. So, just get involved. Get involved.
And if I can just say this, because this is an opportunity. Since Doss is here, I just have to say this. I have to tell you, Doss, that you were my recommendation. I don't know you. Never met you a day in my life. Yep. I looked at your profile. I saw your work. And then I watched a couple videos of you. I said, whoa, that energy, that spirit of that guy. I said, I was like, whoa. And I messaged Dlang. She can tell you. I said, Josh Miller.
But
Because
we know the same.
I said he's the guy. He's the guy. So anyway, all right, we keep talking. You know how we do. So thank you all so much for being a part of this conversation. Please share it. Please tell people, go back and watch it if they have questions about Indiana Fashion Week. If they have, tell them about that. Tell them about the 22nd with Elliot Carlisle coming. Tell them about Fern Malice coming. Just continue the conversation. We appreciate you all for being here. And I love New York, but I'm in love with Indiana. So thank you all so much for being a part of this conversation. Connect with Dlang, connect with myself, connect with Indiana Fashion Week, and we'll see you soon.
We'll see you. Let's create. Bye.